This is a review of how we use bar models to solve comparison word problems. Now remember, when we have a comparison problem, we can tell it's comparison because we're comparing two things. So this problem says, Steve received 28 pieces of candy trick-or-treating. Joe has 4 times as much candy. How much candy do Steve and Joe have all together? So I can see I'm comparing the candy Steve got to the candy that Joe got. And so we know that the first step when we're solving a word problem is to find the question. So the question here says, how much candy do Steve and Joe have all together? And we turn that question into an answer statement. So I would say Steve and Joe have blank pieces of candy all together. Okay, so I need to figure out how much candy they have all together. All right, so the parts of information from the problem. It says Steve received 28 pieces and Joe has 4 times as much. All right, so let's get to the bar model. We know when we're doing a comparison bar model, we start off with equal bars and we decide what two things are being compared. So in this case, it's Steve's candy and Joe's candy. Now, let's deal with the information. We know that Steve received 28 pieces. So I'm going to label his unit as 28. We know that unit is that unit's value is 28. So we've dealt with that information. I'm going to check that off. And now we can see Joe has 4 times as much. So to represent that in my bar model, I'm going to show with my bar model that he has 4 times as much as Steve. So here's what we know. We know that 1 unit equals 28, right? Here's our 1 unit. It equals 28. So to figure out how much Steve and Joe have all together, we want to figure out all of the units, right? So we need to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So 5 units would be what? Well, we could say 28 plus 28 plus 28 plus 28 plus 28. That repeated addition. But we are smart 4th grade mathematicians, so we know that we can also say 28 times 5, right? We're adding it 5 times, so let's just multiply. So 28 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. I put my 4 up. I put my 0 down. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So 5 units, all 5 units together, would be 140 pieces of candy. So Steve and Joe have 140 pieces of candy all together.